So this is how younger generation is building their capital in Singapore. But is it only for the younger generation? Actually, this ecosystem has already existed since 1964 when Lee Kuan Yew actually introduced home ownership policies. So now the interesting thing is this. With stamp duty, interest rate, commission, as well as maintenance fees, actually you will realize real estate is not so lucrative after all. If you all can agree with me, put and like and share in the comments below. Alright, so otherwise, why are people always engaging in this home ownership process? Somehow or rather, if they are able to look at the bigger picture, somehow they are always able to progress from a BTO / if you're fortunate enough, a 2-bedroom condo, to a 3-bedroom, to a 4-bedroom, and eventually even a landed. Right, but those that are nitty-gritty with the numbers, they are always counting how much stamp duty they paid, how much commission, interest rate or maintenance fee they incur. Somehow or other, they always get stuck at the first stop. So what is going on? So actually, I have this 4 P's concept. Alright, the first P is actually promotion. Second P is principal saving. Third P is personal saving. And the fourth P, property appreciation, which is a bonus. All this will come together to form the down payment of your next bigger quantum. So if you're nitty-gritty about the numbers, often you will get stuck on the first stop. But if you're able to look at the big picture, you are always achieving one good cause. What is this one good cause? Which is building capital. So let's use a live example to showcase this concept to you all. Alright, so here is a live example of how one of my clients actually progressed on. Before that, he was actually a PR and he became a citizen. He wanted to make use of his citizenship rights to actually purchase a BTO. I floated something like that to him, but it wasn't so structured back then. Alright, and he bought the idea and he used whatever he could do, alright, and afford to buy a 2-bed 1-bath. Okay, so in 2020, he was actually earning about 10K per month. Moving forward, I floated the idea to him. He proceeded to purchase a 2-bedroom 1-bath unit, not the best product you can actually buy, but he got kickstarted. Alright, he bought something in Queenstown at $1.2 million, a 2-bed 1-bath with whatever he could afford. Moving forward, in 2024, he sold it for $1.45 million, which is a 250K appreciation. Fast forward to today, he bought a Lentor new development, alright, in Lentor, a 3-bedroom for $2.2 million. After selling his $1.2 million 2-bedroom 1-bath, he will get a cash proceeds of $550K, cash and CPF after the sales. To buy a 2.2 million, he needs a down payment of approximately 600K. He will then need to top up another 50,000 from there. In 2024, today he's earning about 14,000. So I want to show you this, how these 4 components will come together to form the down payment of your next bigger quantum. First of all, number 1, promotion. He got a good promotion over the 4 years. He increased his salary from 10K to 14K. The second component, which is principal savings. Every time as you pay off your mortgage, you are actually contributing to your cash proceeds at the end after you sell your property. This is the amount of money that you will get back after you sell. Followed by the bonus property appreciation of 250K that will form your cash proceeds that come back. Now, you don't just buy a property and don't have any personal savings along the way, right? So in general, you have saved up over the years so that you can top up the down payment of another 50,000. If we count 50,000 divided by 4 years, divided by 12 months, you're only required to save about $900 monthly. Is that doable? I think it is. Can you see how all these 4 components come together to form the down payment of his next bigger place? So now there are 2 key questions to ask you, my audience here. The first thing is this: why didn't he buy a 3-bedroom back then in 2020? A 3-bedroom back then would have cost about 1.8 million, cheaper than today's market. Can anybody give a good guess? While making a guess, put a like and subscribe to this channel. Now, of course, a 3-bedroom back then would be 1.8 mil. A down payment of 1.8 mil would generally need about 540K. But the problem is this: he didn't have enough capital. The only capital he had was about 340K, just enough to pay for a 1.2 mil 2-bed 1-bath. But just because he kickstarted, the 4 P's came together to form the down payment of his next bigger place. Alright, he bought a 2.2 mil Lentor. So the key question to ask is this: if he didn't do this in the first place, would he have been able to increase the quantum from 1.2 mil to 2.2 mil, a 1 mil difference within a short span of 4 years? Now my second question to you is this: back then, when the 3-bedroom was 1.8 mil, it was cheaper. but yet he cannot afford. But why when it was more expensive at 2.2 mil, yet he can afford? This is the beauty of the building capital concept, the 4Ps concept coming together to form the down payment of his next bigger place. Now, why there will always be a resale buyer? Because since 1964, where Lee Kuan Yew introduced home ownership policies, this ecosystem has been implemented. Basically, there is always somebody building capital earlier than you. The person who cannot afford a 3-bedroom back then would have bought a 2-bedroom, go through the 4Ps, gain the down payment access to buy a 3-bedroom. But did the 3-bedroom pricing stop in time for them? No. The market continued to move, but the 4Ps gave him the down payment access to a bigger quantum. Same thing for this 3-bedroom guy down here. He who couldn't afford a 4-bedroom back then would have bought a 3-bedroom and went through the 4Ps concept, gained down payment access to the 4-bedroom. But did the 4-bedroom pricing stop in time for him? Definitely it didn't. Same thing goes on for the landed. The 4-bedroom guy who couldn't afford the landed would have bought a 4-bedroom first, go through the 4P concept, and the cycle continues. So that's the main reason why you will always have a resale buyer, because there is always somebody building capital earlier than you. Let's use this example to depict and illustrate the 4P happening in real life and how your property roadmap capital building would actually look like. So we start off with a capital of about 340k. You buy a 1.33 mil quantum, let's say for example Park Revere, appreciate 22% and sell at 1.63 mil. You deduct your buyer stamp duty and your commission. With the cash proceeds, you will end up with a new capital of 563k. All these already factored in the interest, charges, so on and so forth. This is your net capital that comes back. With this 563k, it will give you access to a new quantum of 1.8 mil. Why? With 30% of 1.8 mil, for example, it is actually about 540k. 563k can well pay for the down payment of 540k. With the appreciation of 20%, you get 2.16 mil. Deduct the buyer stamp duty and the commission, you will have a new capital of 783k. With the 4Ps coming together, give you a new access to a quantum of 2.5 mil. With the same process being repeated, you sell it off at 3 mil, a 20% appreciation, deduct the commission and buyer stamp duty, you will be left with a new capital of 1.128 mil. Within a short span of 10 years roadmap, this is a very clear roadmap of how you can actually build your capital from 340k to 1.128 mil. So of course, we understand that you cannot be flipping properties every 3 years because you are buying properties for your own stay as well. So we understand that, but this is a very simple depiction of the concept to help you see it is achievable to achieve a 1 mil quantum capital within 10 years roadmap. Of course, in between, you just stock in your own stay period of additional 3 to 4 years each cycle lah. Alright, then but at least we show you a clear roadmap that it can be done. So this is how the younger generations are building their wealth and building their capital. To me, an upgrade doesn't always mean that you need to upgrade from a 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom. An upgrade also means an upgrade of quantum. Don't forget, your main purpose is to build capital so that by the time you hit 65, you will accumulate a wealth of at least 5 to 6 million as long as you keep repeating the process as how I've mentioned in my video. So if you like what you see, I will be sharing more of this information, analysis and knowledge in my channel. So do remember to like, share and subscribe. But most importantly, if you want a more personalized consultation, do contact me at 9456 9398.